Hello out there, we're on the air, and for the 10th time this season, it's race day today in the Hoosier State. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the one and only The Brickyard here in Speedway, Indiana, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for stop number 10 of the 2024 season of the Winston All-American Series, the Menards 200. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, lads of all ages, as we once again welcome you to the track with live coverage on the North American Sim Racing Network. And from high in the sky in the pagoda this time, my name is Trey Wright for the NASRN. 24 laps around this 2.5 mile super speedway here in Speedway, Indiana. And again, we got 24 laps in the docket of today's race, and it's set to be a fun one for this hallowed ground, the American center of open wheel racing, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard, the crown jewel, whatever you want to call this track. It is what it is. And speaking of it is what it is, we've got quite a points battle building up with only 6 races left until we crown a champion in the inaugural season of the WASP. We'll go down to your point standings at the bottom of your screen. Roy Ribbleton remains in the points lead right now with 1,282 points. Nathan Orman, who won that chaotic race at Atlanta 3 days ago, has risen up to second in the points, 52 points behind Ribbleton, so Ribbleton's lead is fragile at best. Riley Sampson, with his good couple of runs the last couple of weeks, has risen up to third in the point standings, 97 points behind. Brad Stover and Lucien Bianchi round out the top 5 in points. Then it's Toby Murphy, Jim Vincent left, Juan Rodriguez, Donnie Fallington, and Matthew Hubert, who has clawed his way back into the top 10 in the point standings. Hubert, 252 points behind Roy Ribbleton in that 95. In fact, he and Donnie Fallington are tied for 9th in points right now. So realistically, Alex Lozano is 10th right now, points-wise. You know, showing in 11th, Lozano with almost 300 points behind Roy Ribbleton. So these guys, especially below the top 10 in points, they need a win in the next couple of races, because the guys who are in the top 10, only one of them has a win, and that was Nathan Orman in Atlanta a couple of days ago, who has been really consistent all season long, aside from the little hiccup in Little Penny, California for the Levi Strauss race. But nonetheless, it is crunch time, and it is go time for these top 10 guys in points. Can anybody track down Roy Ribbleton, who has been the car to beat this season despite not having a victory lane visit in the first 9 races of the season? We still got 6 left. There's still time for Roy Ribbleton to make it to victory lane, but it's going to be fun to see who ends up in victory lane here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So to finish off the race, let's start it. Let's go down tracks how they get the most famous words in motorsports to kick off the Menards 200 live here from Indy.
Drivers, start them engines!
Them engines have been fired here in Indianapolis. All 42 cars roaring to life on the surface area of the Brickyard. Nathan Buchanan starts on the pole position in the number 14. Alongside him is a man who is very familiar with victory lane here in Indianapolis, Owen Miles in the 99. He has been familiar with victory this season, twice going to victory lane, and once here at Indianapolis in the MBCS. Then rocking P3, it's Jana Fogelman in the 3 car. Alongside her is Toby Murphy in the 69, the first driver in the top 10 in points here on the grid. Then in row 3, it is Eric Monaco. Alongside him is Caleb Rose in the 35. So as the field rolls off the pit lane, let's see where some of your other top 10 drivers are starting. Roy Ribbleton starts in 33rd. Jim Vincent left starts in 41st. 10 of Riley Sampson starts in 11th. Brad Stover 36th. Lucien Bianchi starts in 19th. Go down to your race analysis at the bottom of your screen. It's a 24-lap race around this 2.5 mile super speedway with 9 degrees of banking in the corners. No pit stops on the docket for today's race. And it's set to be a fun one here from the Brickyard. Like we said, Murphy starts in 4th, and Vincent left starts in 41st. 6 of Juan Rodriguez starts in 28th. Donnie Fallington in the 25 starts in 21st, and the 9 of Matthew Hubert starts in 26th. Should be a fun one here. Like we mentioned, Owen Miles has won a race here in Indianapolis. Same with Nathan Stapleton. In the 5 car, he starts deep in the field in the 27th spot. But the pace car makes its way down the pit lane. Buchanan and Miles will lead the field through the Reese's restart zone. Green flag is in the air, and we are live here from the Brickyard. Oh, and Brad Stover's going to go around in the 98. No caution. Now the caution will come out on lap number 1. They'll race it back to the stripe, and Brad Stover, like we said, one of those championship-eligible drivers, going around here on the back straightaway out of turn number 2. I think he got hooked by Logan Williams in the 13. So they race it back to the stripe. It's going to be Nathan Buchanan who will lead them back on lap number 1. Owen Miles nearly fell back to Jana Fogelman for 3rd. And Toby Murphy was falling like a rock in the 69, so that caution came out at the perfect time. But Brad Stover, doesn't look like there's going to be any damage on that 98, and he is very lucky that caution came out, because he was at the back of the field, and that very well could not have been a yellow flag. But the caution lights were triggered. The yellow flag was called. Nathan Buchanan, your pole sitter, leading lap number 1 here, and a couple more under the caution flag. Let's see what happened to bring out the first caution of the afternoon here between Brad Stover and Logan Williams, those two getting tangled up in turn number 2. So Logan Williams on lap number 1 is getting pretty aggressive in the 13, and unfortunately, as Rick Allen once said, aggressive goes around, and it was the 98 of Brad Stover, who coming into this race was 4th in the championship standings, was the one to go around in that A&W Dodge. Gets turned around off the front nose of Logan Williams, and I wasn't sure if they were going to call a caution for that, since he was both off the racetrack and in the back of the field, but the caution did come out, thankfully for Stover, because we would have been much more behind the 8 ball early on. He's still going to be at the back of the field, so he still could be caught up in an accident of some sort. But Brad Stover's got to thank his lucky stars that at least he's got a shot of making it back up towards the front and making some strides to pick up the positions over Roy Ribbleton and everybody else ahead of him in the points. Following in real time with Brad Stover, you see Williams just slides up the racetrack into both him and Rich Roy. And around goes the 98 into the grass. The caution will come out. So after 1 lap, not even a lap, about maybe a mile or so of green flag action, we are under the caution flag here at Indy. For the first time today, Nathan Buchanan won the pole. He is in first. Let's see what he can do on the restart here after a quick caution at the Brickyard. And we're back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway cleaning up the first caution of the day. Nobody was knocked out from that accident, so all 42 cars still on the track, and everybody with minimal damage as we work lap number 5 of 24. Already a fifth of the way through the race under caution laps. But right now, it's the 14 of Nathan Buchanan who has led all 5 laps so far. Behind him is Owen Miles, Jana Fogelman, Eric Monaco, and Toby Murphy, your top 5. Pace car makes its way back down the pit lane. Buchanan will lead the field back through the Reese's restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We'll see if we can get a green flag lap going here at Indianapolis. Owen Miles got a good jump in the 99. He's going to be right on the back bumper of that 14, going onto the back straightaway. Buchanan washes up the track just a little bit, but he's able to keep the top spot. And everybody gets on the back straightaway with minimal issues. 3-car train for the lead. Now Rogel Dorn darts out of line underneath Josh Harmon. That is for the 6th spot. Remember, Dorn was the only car to finish outside the lead lap at Atlanta a couple of days ago. He is looking for redemption in that 8-car. 3-car train, just as I say that, 3 Machine will dart to the inside there of Owen Miles, looking to take second away. We'll get the 99 arrow loose and we'll head up the inside, and Jana Fogelman with a hard charge in the 3 Machine to the penultimate position. Now Miles makes a little bit of contact with the 1. He's able to just barely scrape the wall, but he is going to lose all that momentum. And he is going to go from 2nd to about 6th in the span of a lap. And the caution flag is back out here in a massive crash involving Juan Rodriguez and Brad Stover. And Rodriguez is junked in the 6th car. Kasumi Takashi was in it as well. Same with Logan Williams. The 31 of Logan Alexander destroyed. And the yellow flag back out again. And championship implications. Once again, we had a lot of drivers in the top 10 in points start outside the top 20. And that's ultimately the result of that, is guys getting caught up in accidents with the back markers. And one of those being Juan Rodriguez, who last week slipped in the point standings. He fell 4 positions, and he's going to free fall after today, especially given where everybody's running, but a bad crash on the back straightaway. Brad Stover, his day might be done as well. And that 38 Machine is destroyed. Peter Rashwalski is killed. I think he might have hit the 0-2 of Tyreek Hartman, who Hartman, I believe, might have been upside down along with Rodriguez. Certainly not the first time we've seen a violent crash on the back straightaway here at Indy, and definitely will not be the last, with the Mission Barbecue Cup Series likely coming back for a 4th season. But nonetheless, it is the 14 Machine of Nathan Buchanan, who has led all 9 laps so far today. We'll see what happened and bring out the 2nd caution of the afternoon here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Menards 200. So it's another situation of 3 wide going wrong in turn number 2. Chris Reynolds is going to bomb it to the inside and get into the 34 of Skylar Taylor. Taylor will move up the racetrack into the 0-2 of Hartman and send both those cars around right in front of Roy Ribbleton. Hard shot in the outside wall for the 0-2 of Hartman. And then behind them, John Andrews in the 55 will get in the 0-2, and that's going to essentially start stacking up the field. The 6 gets into the back of the 55 and then gets launched by the 62, and then behind them it's a logjam. Trey Smith getting turned. The 98 of Brad Stover, he ends his day. Shot on the outside wall for Takashi. There's where Rashwalski got involved in the 38, hitting the 98, I believe. You got Trey Smith, like we said, Logan Alexander, Hartman, Rich Roy in the 22 getting involved. Logan Williams in the 13 going around, but upside down in that Gatorade number 6 is the man who came in today 8th in the point standings, is 8th no more. And it's been a bad stretch of races for Juan Rodriguez in that 6 car, and he is going to free fall here today at Indianapolis. Following in real time with Tyreek Hartman, gets turned by Skylar Taylor, and it's on from here. There's a 6 breakdancing down the back. And it's a junkyard and the exit of the back straightaway. Turn 2 has been Calamity Corner so far today in the first 10 laps. And that will take out at least 3 guys inside the top 10. But nonetheless, it's Nathan Buchanan, a man who is way outside the conversation of the championship, who has led every single lap so far today. We'll see what he is able to do on the restart here in the Menards 200 at Indy. And we're back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, wrapping up the 2nd caution of the afternoon. Brad Stover, Peter Rashwalski, Kasumi Takashi, and Tyreek Hartman were all the guys knocked out. Surprisingly, Juan Rodriguez is still in this race despite flipping over in the 6. He is 2 laps down, looking to salvage a run here today in that Gatorade 6 car. 37 cars are on the track still. 36 of them are back on the lead lap. And, you know, like we said in the pre-race show, there are 6 races left and every position matters. You know, we could get a couple of more accidents here that could knock out some other guys. You know, could knock out Matthew Hubert. He's already been in an accident here today. Could have an accident up front with Toby Murphy, Nathan Orman, and Riley Sampson. Roy Ribbleton right now could have an accident. You just never know. That is the unpredictability of racing, and that is what makes racing so romantic. But nonetheless, going back to the restart zone, it's Buchanan, Fogelman, Monaco, Murphy, and Dorn, your top 5. Sampson, Miles, Rose, Harmon, and Dylan Matthews, your top 10. Green flag back out of the air. Nathan Buchanan with a massive jump over the 3 of Fogelman. Buchanan has been on the money when it comes to his restarts here today. Watch this 6 car as it holds up traffic. First car in line it's holding up is going to be the 10 of Riley Sampson. Sampson will go to the inside of the 6. And with Rodriguez holding everybody up, it's a 4-car breakaway for the lead as Monaco nearly took out the 3 car. You know, Eric Monaco, no stranger to getting turned around here. Funny enough, it was by Juan Rodriguez back in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series in 2022. You know, fate just has a funny way of working, and it's Rodriguez who has been upside down here today. And it's Monaco who is fighting for this race lead, but Toby Murphy to the inside of the 1. Same with Riley Sampson in that 10 car. Nathan Orman, meanwhile, he is falling back, and he is going to get put 3 wide. This could be close as he makes contact there. And now Riley Sampson, Ryan Durrani will go around into the 95 of Roy Ribbleton, and the caution is back out as a big stack up in the back straightaway again. Jim Vincent left, caught up in the 90. And it's Roy Ribbleton. Like we said, anything can happen, and anything has. The 90 destroyed. Same with Ryan Durrani in the 12, the first car to go around. The caution is out for the 3rd time today at Indianapolis. And it's going to be Buchanan leading them back once again as we'll get a restart with less than 10 laps to go. But Roy Ribbleton destroyed in that 95 car. Alex Sandoval got a lot of damage in the 96 as well. And Jim Vincent left. His bad stretch of races continues in the 90. It looks like it's going to be about 5 or 6 cars going to the garage area as Trey Smith got in the back of the 13 under the cooldown lap. God, and that all kicked off with Nathan Orman going 3 wide between him or Brian Ferris and Ryan Durrani, and Durrani hitting that outside wall where the safer barrier juts out. But Roy Ribbleton and Jim Vincent left, 2 guys inside the top 10 getting caught up in that accident. But it's Nathan Buchanan who will lead them to the stripe with 10 laps to go. We'll see what happened to bring out caution number 3 of the afternoon here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Menards 200. So again, this all starts with the championship driver being way too aggressive too early in the race, and it's going to take out another championship driver as well. But 3 wide going through the corner. I thought they were going to save it for a second, but Durrani, your Talladega winner, will go up the racetrack, and he is going to clip the safer barrier just barely at the edge, and he'll lose control of his car just barely in the 12, enough for Mike Vincent Jr. to turn him around, and Ribbleton steering that car all the way to the left, but it's not nearly enough as he will get hit there by the 12. Actually, he'll hit the 12, who ping-pongs back into Alex Sandoval. He'll get turned there by the 21 of Crown Jr. There's where Vincent left gets hit by the 12, who is a bowling ball or a pinball on the track right now. Rich Roy and Trey Smith getting into one another, and everybody just hitting one another, and a hard shot to the inside there for Jim Vincent left in the 90. But the two biggest guys involved in that had to have been Vincent Leff and Ribbleton. And a bad crash here on the back straightaway. Again, the back straightaway has been calamity corner all day long. 3 accidents in the first couple of laps here at Indianapolis, and it's been a chaotic one from the Brickyard. Following with Ryan Durrani in real time, and just 2 cars going for the same piece of real estate under him, and unfortunately, he's the one who's got to clean up the mess. But there's Ribbleton in the 95. There's where Vincent Leff gets hit if we can find him. And a hard shot to the inside wall for the 90, and he spins like a top down the back straightaway. 7-car accident puts us under caution numero 3 here at the Brickyard. And it's been the Nathan Buchanan show all throughout today's race. Buchanan leads them back to the stripe. We'll see what these guys can do on the restart here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And we're back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, wrapping up our 3rd caution of the afternoon. Ryan Durrani, Jim Vincent Leff were the only 2 cars knocked out from that accident. Forgot to mention that Durrani was the most previous winner here at Indianapolis with the Mission Barbecue Cup Series, but he will not be going to victory lane here today. 35 cars remain on the track, 34 of them on the lead lap, and hopefully we can get a nice green flag run here to end things off. Buchanan, Fogelman, Murphy, Monaco, and Riley Sampson, your top 5. Riley Sampson right now on the catbird seat to take the points lead away from Roy Ribbleton. But through they go, green flag back out in the air. 7 laps to go already from Indianapolis. We'll see if we can get a nice green flag run to end things off. I don't know if we will. But Nathan Buchanan has led the most laps here today, most of them being under the caution flag. We'll see if he can go wire to wire in the 14. Josh Harmon, the fastest car on the track, and he moves down to the inside along with Toby Murphy. Murphy nearly takes the quarter panel off the 3 of Fogelman, and Murphy will go to the 2nd spot. Here comes Riley Sampson here, also nearly knocked the 3 car out of her line. But Sampson going for every position, but he's got to calm down a little bit in the 10. You don't want to be overzealous, especially in the closing laps of this race. Buchanan with a 0.3 of a second lead over the 14 car. Now Monaco to the inside of the 10. Harmon was going to get out of the groove, and he's going to lose a lot of time in the 17. Orman has hit the wall now. Tristan Rashwalski, and around goes the 8 machine, and the caution is going to come back out. No, it is not. Rogel Dorn will go around. And a couple of cars having some issues on the back straightaway, but we keep it green, and Nathan Orman falling like a rock in the 88. Back up at the front, Murphy with a huge run. He's got a huge slipstream on Buchanan. 5, count them, 5 laps to go from Indianapolis. Riley Sampson has fallen back in the 10, but he's still going to have a huge points payday. Now can Murphy have another big run down the front straightaway on Buchanan? Again, they're coming around to 4 laps to go. And we're setting up to have another fantastic finish here at Indianapolis. They're keeping it green for now, and Murphy is going to have a huge tow going down the front straightaway. Single file throughout the entire field. 4 to go at the stripe. Murphy within 0.13 of a second. Can he get around the 14? It's going to be close here. They are going to catch up to Rogel Dorn. Actually, no, Dorn was in turn 4. They're in turn 2 right now. No lap traffic in the way. Could have another caution to re-rack him up for a green-white checker, though. It's a dogfight for the race lead, and Murphy trying to find a way around Buchanan. Murphy really needs this win. He came in today 6th in the point standings, has had a heck of a run the last couple of weeks, and right now has got a huge run down the front straightaway. 3 to go at the stripe, and he's less than a tenth of a second off from the 14. Catching up to him is one thing. Can he get around Nathan Buchanan? These guys are a second away from Jana Fogelman. The more they stay in front of one another, the more likely they are going to be 1-2. The more likely it's going to be a 2-car dogfight for this race win. 2 to go this time by. Can Buchanan hold on? Can Murphy score the upset? Right now, Riley Sampson still rocking that 8th position. Orman has fallen all the way down to 24th, so Sampson would have the points lead going into Watkins Glen next week. I think Toby Murphy, Murphy came in almost a full race behind Roy Ribbleton, so Murphy will probably be somewhere in the points, but it's Popsicle 6 in the air, 2 laps to go. Can Murphy catch up? He's got about 3.25 miles to go in order to get around this 14. Oh, he is coming, and he is coming fast. I think he's waiting for Jana Fogelman to come up and potentially give him a push to get around this 14 machine. White flag in the air one more time around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Nathan Buchanan. 2.5 miles left to go at the Brickyard. Murphy dragging the brake there through turn 1. Does Fogelman help the 69, or is she trying to go for the race lead herself? They're falling back a little bit. Buchanan just needs to run a perfect last couple of corners. Through turns 3 and 4, Murphy's going to have one last shot. He's a car length off, but I think he might be a little too short. Off the final corner, checkered flag waving in the Indiana air, wire to wire, pole position, and victory lane is for Nathan Buchanan, who wins at the Brickyard. And after the checkered flag, Rogaldorn gets into the 96, but it doesn't mean anything. It's Nathan Buchanan in the 14 machine who's going to Gatorade Victory Lane here today. Toby Murphy so close, but a huge points day for the 69. It's not quite a sweep as Owen Miles got the fastest lap, but still huge for Nathan Buchanan. Doesn't mean much in the points, but it's still a feel-good story for Buchanan coming into today. Buchanan right now in the 14, 37th in the points. But first on top of the pylon here this afternoon, taking a look at your official standings, Nathan Buchanan is your winner of a chaotic race here, of a caution-marred race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Glad we were able to get that last 7-lap stint done under green. Toby Murphy coming up about 1/4 of a second off, but it's still a good points day for him. Jana Fogelman, Eric Monaco, and Caleb Rose round out your top 5. Matthews, Miles, Sampson, Fogelman, and Harmon, your top 10. Roy Ribbleton is going to finish in 32nd. So Riley Sampson should have the points lead going into Watkins Glen in a couple of days. Definitely going to be an interesting one there, and everybody that was knocked out, Juan Rodriguez not able to take too much advantage of guys getting knocked down. He will still fall like a rock in the 6 points wise, especially with where Murphy and Sampson finished. Again, Orman fell down to 24th, so between Sampson and 8th, 24th, that's about say 16 spots. I can't really do math in my head. 24 minus 8, that is exactly 16. So times that by 5. That's about an 80-point swing there. And coming into this race, yeah, Riley Sampson was 40 points behind Nathan Orman. So Riley Sampson's your new points leader going into the final 5 races of the season, being kicked off by Watkins Glen. And oh boy, it's an incredible last final races of the season. Watkins Glen, Charlotte, Hillside, Rockingham, and the season finale at Daytona to round out the inaugural season of the WASP. But that's going to do it here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Nathan Buchanan for going wire to wire here at the Brickyard. Definitely bet that drivers are not going to go wire to wire at our next race on February 24th here today, or here in a couple of days at the Watkins Glen International for the CarQuest at the Glen on the 24th. But thank you all so much for tuning in to today's coverage of the Winston All-American Series, and we will see you in the Finger Lakes region of New York for race number 11 in a couple of days at Watkins Glen International. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your point standings after race number 10 of the 2024 season of the Winston All-American Series. And from Speedway, Indiana, on behalf of the North American Sim Racing Network, my name is Trey Wright. Have a great evening, folks.